glad that you were able to make it. And I just encourage everyone, even as we begin, that let us participate as much as possible and be interactive. And I would also just like to mention that we're also live on Facebook, so I would like to welcome those who are viewing us on Facebook as well. And we'd also like to just mention that we're also on the Twitter, and our hashtag is PMRC Media Workshop 2017. So you can tweet as the session is going on. And the theme for the media workshop is advancement and transformation, enhancing media participation in Zambia's sustainable development. And it's for this reason that indeed we have the right people who are here, who are attending, our media partners. We're very glad that you've been able to come. And I also still want to acknowledge the presence of the media students from Cavendish University, from the University of Zambia, from Zampo, and even from. They're very welcome. And at this moment in time, I would like to introduce our panel. And I'd like to really say that you're very welcome. On our immediate right, we have Madam Namakao Kerebai. I'm sure we all know her. She's been in the media industry for quite a long time. And then right next to her, we have our Policy Monitoring and Research Center Executive Director, Ms. Benedict Deha. Madam, you're welcome. And right next to her, we also have Mr. Shwanda. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
And right next to him, we have the head of research and analysis, Mr. Kawunda. And thank you very much, Mr. Kawunda. You're welcome. And we also still have Dr. Sokoni. So there's a lot of information that you'll be able to go out. And you'll be able to even know more about PMRC, which is a public policy think tank, which has so much data, so much information, which we need to disseminate. No wonder we've taken it upon ourselves that the media are a very important part, not just for the nation, but even for us as PMRC. You are important partners. It's for this reason that as PMRC, we schedule about 4 media workshops in a year. So it shows you how important you are to our dissemination of information. And we are indeed very grateful that you were able to come. And to the panelists, our presenters for today, at least I should mention to you all that the moment we called them to say that you're coming to present, they were very, very happy. They said you are coming. They said you are coming. So that's how much importance they also attach to this. We're very happy and thank you so much for accepting our invitation.
PMRC Media Workshop, thank you so much for coming. I think all the salutations have been given. My name is Salim Kaunda. I'm the head of research and analysis at PMRC. And basically, my task this morning is to share with us just briefly about PMRC, what we have been doing and what we intend to do this 2017. Of course, we know that some people here have interacted with PMRC on various platforms and know what PMRC is all about. But for some others who are joining us for today, wanted to see what we have produced, and for our colleagues in the media, want you to also know that we produce a certain number of research materials that perhaps you might be interested in, or certain topics that maybe you might be interested in. So you'll be able to see that. I'll try to run through it quickly. May I be helped with the lights? I think the people at the back, I don't know, people at the back, are you able to see? You can see? All right, cool. But I can't see myself. I don't know who's that heights. So basically, slide 1. Of course, PMRC is a public policy think tank. I think we all know that. Our vision to unlock Zambia's potential. So basically, we produce high quality, relevant, and timely policy analysis, which booklets that you've actually gotten as you are coming through, as well as we form proposals and also engage with government on various platforms. Before policies are actually implemented, we are part of the people who work in the background. When policies have now been launched, we're the people who analyze to see how that is going to actually benefit the public. And then we come to the citizens and also explain to them what the policy means to them so that they are able to understand, they have the information, and they are able to engage with their leaders on various levels. So that's why PMRC exists. So in a nutshell, we're a resource in between the government and the citizenry. So for the government side, we offer checks and balances and reform proposals as well as recommendations. Whilst on the citizens' part, we try to increase knowledge of particular aspects that the government is doing, or things that you hear on the news, because every now and then we hear that government has launched this policy, or government has banned fruits and vegetables, or government has done this. So when you hear those things, just know that PMRC is going to have an opinion, perspective opinion over that, and actually news will be available. Moving along. Next slide, please. So basically it's about PMRC looking at the thematic areas, operational strategy, selected research publications, and selected key events, as well as some of the other international engagements we've had, and the broader perspective in which PMRC will be operating on this year, as well as upcoming research for 2017 as well. So, next slide, please. The thematic areas, as has been mentioned, the 4 thematic areas we have: economic development, governance, natural resources and environment, as well as social protection. So, what is listed under each of those thematic areas are some of the topics. And I repeat, some of the topics that you find under those thematic areas. However, having given you these 4 thematic areas, it does not mean we limit our works to these 4 thematic areas. No. These are the ones that PMRC is moving along with in its operational strategy. But we also conduct various research in various topics as well, with the linkages that we have with other institutions as well. But the main PMRC thematic areas are the 4 that have been listed for us, and those are some of the topics that you find therein. Next slide. If you look at institutional linkages, how does PMRC operate? So we have all these institutions around us that complement the works that we do, from the government itself, other civil society organizations, academia, the universities, cooperating partners, be it the embassies and all the other institutions, we work with them. Private sector, we work with private sector. Parliament, very interesting, we always appear before Parliament to provide our submissions on various topics that on various bills that are about to be passed in Parliament. So that's how we are directly involved in policy making or legislation in Zambia through Parliament. We are always there, and you can go on our Facebook page, you can go on our YouTube page, you'll be able to see some of us or some of the researchers in those meetings with the parliamentarians themselves. And also the media, of course. So that is why this one is especially convened for the media and for people media related, for students media related, to interact and share knowledge of what has been happening in our country, and also to see how we can work more as PMRC with you, and how we can help you as well as PMRC with information. So that's why we have convened the media, and you will see that in other various platforms we also interact with the media.
Executive Director, Madam Benedict Decker, to give her opening remarks. Madam.
Good morning, and welcome once again. The high table, our guests, and our resource persons, our mentors, you're welcome. The media, our friends, the students, PMRC staff, you're welcome to this event. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the first PMRC Media Workshop of the year 2017. It is very interesting today actually to share the high table with my mentor, Mr. Chirama Kayama. We come from way back. I've had the privilege to share the high table again in the past, in my first year of the University of Zambia. Very tiny though. and I think I had to also address people, and he was also addressing people. I think it must have been a week of commemorating the US. I think we actually appeared on a number of them. Yeah. The Economic Association of Zambia platform. Yes, yes. So we've been both speakers for quite a long time, and as much as I'm not getting better at it. Yes. And also, when I returned from New Partnership for Africa's Development, NEPAD, where I served, and the regional entity, I came back to Zambia and I knocked on his door. I told him I'm back, and this is what I have, and this is what I've learned. I think I'm right to actually enter the private sector in Zambia. I forgot about it. He said, no, I'll get back to you. He did not promise me anything. I think 3 weeks later or a month later, I got a call from the Institute of Directors saying you've been recommended by Mr. Chwakanyama, your CV is, he says your CV is very strong. So I would like you to come in for interviews for a position of business development manager. I had never done that before, but I went. And there, little did I realize that it was actually part of God's plans for me to learn corporate governance and as a stepping stone for today. There are a lot of things that I now understand and I tackle because of that experience. And I'd like to officially say thank you to you, sir. And I hope that the people in here, media friends and colleagues, will learn a lot. Because it's not every day that we have such resourceful persons and even other icons like them that I've always seen on TV. And even for you, sir, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you all for taking time to be with us this morning as we share knowledge and information on various aspects of PMRC, work as well as mentorship by some of the renowned individuals who have made a mark in their respective discipline, just like I have shared. This media workshop is one of the several avenues through which PMRC interacts with the media on one-to-one basis. Other platforms include PMRC dissemination events, media briefings, and our now annual media awards. And I hope that you'll be there. Certainly for us as PMRC, this engagement gives us a chance to reflect on our 2016 highlights, where we endeavored to provide our decision makers with evidence-based policy reforms, proposals, and recommendations, and most of which have been taken up. Further, we look ahead to this year 2017, and our focus is to continue making impact in the Zambian society. Policy think tanks such as ours have a critical role to play in shaping the development discourse and direction of the country. Our job as a policy think tank is to provide our decision makers at all levels with the necessary evidence that informs policy processes in order to achieve social and economic development. Beyond this mandate, PMRC has an obligation to equip the general citizenry with up-to-date policy information that will empower them to make informed decisions and better interact with their leaders. It is to this effect that PMRC does not shy away from actively engaging in key policy issues. It gives me great pleasure to share with you that in our own way, PMRC has for the past few months produced some policy analysis and engaged decision makers at various levels. Some of the publications, just as Mr. Kaunda's shared with us as well, include Understanding the Zambia Economic Recovery Plan, Assessing of the Impact of the Social Cash Transfer. This one we've gone around the country, helping the Ministry of Community Development to explain to people and to the general citizenry who are the beneficiaries and what is the criteria. Another one is assessments of Zambia as a high-cost tourism destination, understanding currency dynamics, assessments of the FISPAN e-voucher, and further some of our upcoming research publications include the National Climate Change Policy Analysis, National Agriculture Policy Analysis, the impact of multi-facility economic zones, the impact of information communication technologies, ICTs, in the education sector, the impact of early education under the Sustainable Development Goals, to which we have partnered with UNICEF and other relevant stakeholders. I must mention that PMRC is also proud to have been actively engaged in the formulation of the soon-to-be-launched 7th National Development Plan. We have worked with the Ministry of National Planning and Development side by side in reviewing this document, and we're quite confident that our strategic plan as a country for the next 5 years is quite robust, and it speaks into the people's welfare and concerns. This was a platform that provided an opportunity to include our submissions and inputs into the national plan. We have also been actively engaging with the Ministry of Energy over the petroleum procurement dynamics. Specifically, we have provided submissions on some of the factors that government needs to consider before disengaging from the procurement of fuel. Having said this, ladies and gentlemen, today we get to be mentored by renowned individuals, and it is my hope that this will equip us with various skills and techniques that will be beneficial as we move forward. I should just break a little bit and tell you a short story again. I was a columnist at the time that, I was a weekly newspaper columnist at the time that Mr. Chilabakanyama was a columnist as well. So you can imagine if his column comes just right above me, and I'm his maybe first year University of Zambia student, actually before University of Zambia, at perhaps 16 years old, and I'm thinking, people just read his and then they'll just ignore mine perhaps. But I must tell you that when you as young people from the universities, let me address perhaps many child from the media personnel who are parents perhaps and they've been practicing in this sphere, but for you students, I think you can do anything. You can really do anything if you have the drive, the zeal, and if you have the passion. You just need to know what passion you have in life for you to actually make it. You can do anything at any given time, and you only have you to make it. Before you can actually look into being mentored, you must be interested. So it begins with you, it is your attitude. And I think I've had, on a number of occasions, discussions with my colleagues, including Mr. Chilabakanyama, over my articles, and I said, oh, actually they do read, and they do have impact, and that was there. Okay. So that was for you, dear student. Also, we are proud to have invited some mass communication students, ones at Home College, Zamcom, and Cavendish University, apart from the different media partners to which I've just addressed. This shows that PMRC is an all-encompassing institution that believes in knowledge sharing and networking leveraging. As we go through the various presentations for today's engagement, I would like to reiterate that we are going to keep up this work. We're going to work with you, and as long as our partners are also available, we're going to really upscale in what we believe in. We are grateful for the growing support that we receive as an institution from you, our media partners, by ensuring that you assist us in disseminating our work. There's no glory in finding our research findings and making recommendations that then given to government, and there's no impact without you, our media partners, being involved, or without you helping us educate the nations and the masses. We just saw from the last general election, people are now aware of the things that we thought that used to happen in the background. People are alive to what is happening everywhere now because of the media. And we are grateful that you're here, and we hope that we can all be mentored to be responsible citizens even as we carry out our works. We are grateful once again for the growing support that we receive as an institution from you, our partners, by ensuring that you assist us in disseminating our work. For that we are grateful. Our works would not be as far-reaching as it is without your collaboration and help. I hereby encourage you to continue having PMRC as a source of information on various policy and socio-economic matters in our country. As I conclude, may I also mention that today marks the opening of submissions for the 2017 Media Awards, and which should be held later this year. Our communications team at the back there will later on provide a brief presentation on details and entries and criteria. I trust and pray that this is a long journey on which we are marching together, and through it all we will create an environment that will lead to a better country for our people. Again, I welcome you all and thank you very much.
How are you? I've just been in the country for 3 months now, following up events and appreciating this invitation by PMRC. Ms. Decker is, allow me to say, one young lady. For me, she's a young lady, taking a very big role in society. We've been collaborating for a long time together when she was still at university. Just a month ago, I was asking one of our associate partners, are you in touch with your friend? Because they carry the same energy, Caroline Katotoria. He says, we haven't been in touch. I said, look, I don't want you to lose that energy together, because we come a long way as a team. And both of you doing great work. We followed your column because we wanted to hear the voice of young people. And for us, it was an incredible voice. And keep it up. Thank you. Dr. Scotty didn't tell me that you've got a PhD now. Congratulations to you. Excellent. That's a milestone achievement. I'm highly honored and humbled by that. Thank you. He's a very hardworking individual, an HR specialist. It's a pity that I have to rush for another meeting at about 11:15. So it would be nice the opportunity to listen to the presentation, and I would love to. I may come back if we end just a second presentation somewhere, so that I can listen through. Of course, Madam Macau, who is my wife, my third wife. She only marries me at Christmas time, and divorces me afterwards. We worked together at Macau, at ZNBC for a long, long time, and we stood together up to this very day, very hardworking, just as young lady. She's progressing in her career from being an announcer to what she is today. Congratulations to you too. Thank you. My presentation will be 20 minutes or less, and then I'll give 15 minutes for question and answer session. Is that okay? Is that okay? Thank you. So I'll quickly run through. I didn't do my slides well, they come from the reverse, so just do the whole slide at once. Yeah, so let's go to the next one. Just do the whole lot of the slide. Okay, right. So I want to look at the Zambia Plus. Many of you have heard of the Zambia Plus. Zambia Plus is an economic recovery program. It's an initiative of government and was launched last year about October. Its thrust is to address the economic challenges that the country is going through at this particular stage. And for a journalist, it's very important to appreciate, understand what Zambia Plus is all about. Zambia Plus and its 5 pillars. All what is contained in Zambia Plus is that we as a country want to identify what our weaknesses are and what steps we shall take on our own first to restore economic credibility to the country, enhance stability, and promote growth and development. So when we do it ourselves in Zambia, then the other cooperating partners will be sufficiently motivated, and they know that there's a foundation for that growth to happen. So the plus are the other people. So put it simply, Zambia shall enhance its economic recovery program plus other partners. It's us plus the others. The others are looking for something from us. So let us do it first. And by doing it first, the others who are the plus shall come on board. And that is designed to help restore development. Let's go to the next slide. To put it simply, this is what the Minister of Finance said at the launch of the Zambia Plus Economic Program. All solutions will be determined by Zambia. So you and I shall determine the solutions for economic recovery. While external partners will form the plus as we engage them to assist in this process. And of course, this includes the IMF, the institution I work for, until the end of 2016. Let's go to the next slide. To do this, or to make this happen, there are 5 pillars that will support the Zambia Plus Economic Recovery Program. And this is where I want every journalist to pay extra attention. This should be your Bible for the next 1 year plus. This should be where your journalism, if you're an economic reporter, if you're a business reporter, if you're a development reporter, your focus shall be on how you interrogate these 5 pillars. Were they well founded? Were they realistic? Do they mirror the research report by PMRC and others? And I should commend you, PMRC, the way you do it. It's excellent. It's really great work. And I want to encourage all journalists to have access to those reports because they will help you understand these 5 pillars and how they are working. The first pillar is enhance or strengthening tax policy and administration. And you may have realized, there's some blanks there. In doing this, they want to improve revenue inflows and to also shift public expenditure back to affordable levels. If you want to know what has been the challenge with the Zambian economy, it's about the imbalance in its fiscal position. This has been said by the minister, has been said by the president, has been said by almost every other economist, including the IMF, that we are spending more than we are raising in terms of revenue. And whenever you spend more than you earn, you are in trouble. Because that gap shall be filled in by borrowing. And borrowing has its own consequences. So to promote a balanced budget, you must take expenditure and income. And to take that, you must focus on reforming your policy administration on taxation. And I was listening to the ZRA Commissioner General in Livingston at a breakfast meeting where he met you, the journalists. And his statement was that he was actually talking to the minister. It says, we have beaten the quarterly revenue in terms of tax collection by 150 million kwacha. For the simple reason that you as government helped us in your budget by bringing in new revenue measures. In other words, they did this. That's what government did. Number 2, the next slide. The next pillar for Zambia Plus Economic Recovery, which you journalists must know, is increasing budgetary allocation to social protection, including addressing the plight of pensioners. This is a very fundamental task. You may know that in every strategic intervention by government which seeks to reform the economy, the most vulnerable in society pay the price. Some of you are very young. You may not remember that Zambia once had what we call the Structural Adjustment Program, which led to the privatization of industry and companies, and a lot of people were laid off. Many people lost income, and a number of them have since died because they were really thrown out of the economic system. What has been done now, not only by the Zambian government, but including the International Monetary Fund itself, in its own policy measures, they focus more on having very disciplined approaches to physical application of the economy, of physical discipline. But in that physical discipline, as you tighten the economy and seal the loopholes of expenditure, you must not make the vulnerable worse off. There should be some form of mitigation to take care of those that cannot effectively participate in the economy by one reason or the other. So the focus of government is that as we are recovering the economy, we should not throw away the most vulnerable out of the economic system. We should take care of them, and one way is through the social transfer, what did we call it now? Cash transfer schemes. Journalists, do you know about that? You ever heard about cash transfer schemes? I want to see a journalist who shall report from a microcosm point of view.
I just want to find out concerning the 5 pillars where the education sector can fall in, because if we're going to go with these pillars without addressing some of the challenges we're having in the education sector, I don't know how we're going to achieve this if we're going to still be using theories of yesteryears and last century to solve problems of the future.
Fantastic. That's the question you're supposed to ask for the and the whole nation shall benefit. We have seen your pillars, but where does the education lie? I know it is lying somewhere, but ask that question. That will be a very good cue for a very good question on these 5 pillars. Ask the minister. And he's always willing. I'm in touch with him, we normally talk privately on media issues, and I know you'll be very happy to answer that question. To give him an opportunity to explain it. Like
job and quitting it. Yes, I'm going to ask you to quit your job. So let's start with getting a job. So some of you may be here and you'll be looking forward to getting a job. So, getting a job, seek and you shall find, the Bible says in Matthew chapter 7:7, and knock, the door shall be open for you. He who seeks finds, he who knocks, the door is open for him. Right? The first step in you looking for a job is not to sit home and hope and pray that a job is going to find you. It's to do what? Look for it. If you're looking for a story as a journalist, don't hope and sit and surf the social media and hope that you're going to come up with a story. What you do? Look for a story. Right? Be ready to search for a job that you desire. Search for it, you shall find it. Put your papers together, your CV in advance. Don't not wait until you hear there's a job. That's when you start running, putting a paper together, you make a mistake. Make sure that your CV is good and you've done it in advance and someone has read it. Not you alone, someone. Why? Many people make a mistake. They keep a CV as if it's a Visa card, only them to look at it. But you see, some people can read that CV so many times, but never see the mistakes that are sitting on that CV. So it's important that you give it to someone to just proofread it. Don't lie, no pictures, be specific. Don't lie on a CV, because we will pick it, we've been trained to pick such things. And no pictures. Why do you put pictures on your CV? Why? You are bewitching us what you're listening, so that we see how beautiful you are. We say, aha, this face looks good. We should employ this person in our company. You are making a mistake. We stopped a long time ago shortlisting such people because we see you influencing people in the organization and distracting people using your face. What is important to you is your face. We are asking about your credentials, your profile, not your face. When we want to see your face, we'll call you for an interview.
Through the presentation. So these are basically the dimensions that we are going to use to see which will be the best in print, the best in TV. So these are the criteria that we are going to use when the committee sits. So when you are covering your stories, we're encouraging that whatever you submit should cover those 9 dimensions. So when we're looking at clarity of submission, let it be clear. What topic are you touching? What are you referring to? Let it be very clear for everyone who is running through that. So that is the email address that you submit the different scripts and the videos to. And we'll be able to email them. Since we have all your details, we'll be able to email those details. And we even give you more information on how that can be done. So everyone here and all the other media houses are going to receive this information. Okay, so thank you very much for having come. And I will invite Mr.
Before I even talk about the closing remarks, how many of us in here can lift up their hands and say this was an event worth attending? Can I see those hands? Thank you so much. We thank God. And I think for the PMRC team, I would just like to take this opportunity on behalf of our Executive Director to sincerely thank the whole team that has been working tirelessly to ensure that we deliver a very successful event, which in my opinion, I think, and your hands confirmed it, has been a very successful event. Please feel free to give us feedback in case there are any areas where you need us to improve in all the other aspects. And I think also special gratitude and thanks to all the presenters we had this morning. I think we've learned quite a lot from each and every of the presenters. Of course, we've been challenged, or the media has been challenged to say between now and 2021, before the next election, what will be the agenda? What are we going to talk about? If there's no politics to report about, what are we going to talk about? Students, I think, have the rare privilege of declaring that we've come to the end of our program. Thank you so much and have a good day.